Welcome back to Explain the Charts. Today we are looking at the Nasdaq 100, or QQQ, and exploring how recent market news might be influencing price action on the charts. Looking at the daily chart, we see that the QQQ has been in a strong uptrend for most of 2024. The recent sell-off is a significant development, but it's important to note that the overall trend is still bullish. The price has pulled back from the highs, but it remains above several key support levels. It's crucial to consider if this is a temporary dip or a signal of a larger correction. The recent Google search results show a mixed picture for the Nasdaq. On the one hand, there are headlines indicating a market rebound after steep losses. However, there's also news about the worst week in nearly 18 months, fueled by concerns about a slowing labor market and the potential for a recession. The August jobs report, which was weaker than expected, has created uncertainty about the Federal Reserve's future rate cuts. Investors are closely watching inflation reports this week to gauge the Fed's stance on monetary policy. These events have likely contributed to the recent sell-off in the QQQ. Looking at the 1-hour chart, we can get a better sense of the recent sell-off's intensity and see if the price action suggests a continued downward movement or a potential reversal. We can also look for overbought or oversold conditions that might offer clues about the market's direction. Zooming in on the 1-hour chart from August 19th to August 23rd, we see a clear downward trend, with the price breaking below several key support levels. This suggests that the bears were in control and driving the market lower. This period coincides with the release of the weak jobs report and the subsequent uncertainty about the Fed's actions. However, if we look at the 1-hour chart from August 23rd to September 3rd, we see some evidence of a potential trend reversal. The price has bounced off a key support level and has been moving higher, suggesting that the bulls might be regaining some control. This potential reversal is further supported by the recent news about a market rebound and the anticipation of monetary support. The market's gains were attributed to oversold conditions, and investors are awaiting this week's inflation data, which will likely inform the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. Let's now shift to the 15-minute chart. This will allow us to get an even more detailed view of the recent price action and see if there are any patterns that might suggest further bullish or bearish momentum. Looking at the 15-minute chart from September 4th to September 6th, we see a series of lower highs and lower lows, confirming the bearish sentiment that was present on the 1-hour chart. The price broke below several key support levels, suggesting a strong downward trend. However, if we look at the 15-minute chart from September 6th to September 9th, we see a clear change in the price action. The price has bounced off a key support level and has been moving higher, suggesting that the bulls might be regaining some control. This potential reversal is further supported by the recent news about a market rebound and the anticipation of monetary support. The market's gains were attributed to oversold conditions, and investors are awaiting this week's inflation data, which will likely inform the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. To summarize the key price levels to watch, on the daily chart, we see strong resistance around the 470 level and key support around the 450 level. On the 1-hour chart, we see resistance around the 460 level and support around the 450 level. On the 15-minute chart, we see resistance around the 460 level and support around the 450 level. Regarding predictions, the QQQ's future direction is highly dependent on the upcoming inflation data and the Federal Reserve's response. If inflation comes in lower than expected, it could strengthen the case for more aggressive rate cuts, which would likely be bullish for the QQQ. Conversely, if inflation is higher than expected, it could weaken the case for rate cuts and potentially lead to further bearish pressure on the QQQ. Additionally, it's important to pay attention to the overall market sentiment and the price action on the different timeframes. If we see sustained upward pressure on the 1-hour and 15-minute charts, it could be a strong signal that the recent sell-off is over and the QQQ is ready to move higher. Conversely, if we see continued downward pressure on these charts, it could suggest that the sell-off is not over and the QQQ may continue to move lower. Remember, trading involves risk, and it's always important to manage your risk effectively. Use stop-loss orders and diversify your portfolio to mitigate potential losses. And always do your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.